Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is a very emotional moment for us here today, talking to you, sharing our deep love for our sexy planet Earth. Before we start, before I tell you our story, I have a confession to make. We are not who you think we are. Ooh. We are not designers. Ooh. We are not space stylists. Ooh. We are not hairdresser either. Ah. Oh my God. In fact, we are superheroes. Oh my goodness. And we are not quite human either. Oh. We were born ducks. Marcel Mauer is the name of the super intelligent Swiss scientist, who also owns a small restaurant near Basel, who found us in a small frozen pond in 1981 and took us to his laboratory. Fed us superfood like avocado and walnuts, and combined our bird DNA with the ones of scientists, artists, and various sci-fi characters. Marcel gave us great powers, and, as our old friend Peter Parker always says, with great power comes great responsibility. So, we decided to turn our powers in a force for good, creating design, looking after sexy planet Earth, and using fun as a catalyst for change. Our power shall now be used to help you in your mission. Marcel Mauer has saved us when we were half-frozen ducklings and turned us into superheroes. He's done it before, he can do it again. This is the story of how Marcel Mauer saved a duck. So the mission is to help Save the Duck becoming a global leading lifestyle brand. Save the Duck is on the right side of the future. Its core values are fundamentally sound, and a path is in place to improve the areas of supply chain that are not yet future-proof. Sale figures looking good, product is amazing. What next? Save the Duck has a unique opportunity. With strong customer base, being recognized as a leading name in ethical down jackets, and an ambitious plan ahead, the company can outgrow their market segment and evolve into a global lifestyle brand. Now that would be massive. Alright then, but obviously, if there is value to be gained, surely there is risk to mitigate. The risk is that the plan might be too ambitious. The growth might not be as fast as expected, and that not enough investment may go into R&D, with critical impact on the capacity to retain the driving seat, the leading edge, on the right side of the future. In other words, the risk is that competitors might catch up.
Oh my God.
The solution? As in all superhero stories and other ethically unchallenging fiction, is to defeat the baddies by being stronger, smarter, and sexier. To be stronger, you will need to grow sales and increase brand affiliation, expanding your customer base. To be smarter, you will need clear innovation investment and R&D strategy. And to be sexier,
well, darling, I don't think you'll need any help with that.
we could summarize the context of our application in the following 5 points. Number 1. The vision is that Save the Duck becomes the lifestyle brand of future fashion. Number 2. The mission is to make Save the Duck customers to feel part of a fashion movement. Number 3. The objective is to maximize marketing return on investment on core values communication. Number 4. The strategy is to turn Save the Duck stores into informative and emotional spatial experiences. Number 5. The tactics is to curate Save the Duck store experience as a situation, a dialogue, a fulfilling experience. So, here is our goal. How to turn shopping into an emotional, informative, and fun situation. In order to turn Save the Duck space into an experience, a situation, it is important to understand what a situation is and why we are using such reference. It is our intention to differentiate Save the Duck from competitors by maximizing the brand core values communication potentials and increase brand affiliation. In order to do that, we need to focus less on the product and more on the values. In a sort of counterintuitive way, we will get to product sales as the result of some lateral thinking mechanics, as explained by the evergreen Edward de Bono. We will go about it in our usual radical way, and we will start from the roaring 1960s. As we look beyond product and into values, we believe it is entirely appropriate to refer to the work of some fiercely anti-capitalist group of artists and intellectuals, also known as the French International Situationists, whose main purpose was to react against the objectification of modern life, which they saw as alienated by the tendency to reduce experience into transactions. The point we take from Guy Debord and the Situationist is that a constructed situation is a moment of life concretely and deliberately constructed by the collective organization of a unitary ambience of game of events. And we want people to experience a uniquely meaningful unitary ambience of game of events every time they will enter a Save the Duck store. Now, someone who just likes being annoying might ask, why? What's so special in a situation, in a constructed experience, compared to a good old shop? To answer this particularly annoying person, we would make use of our handy time machine and take him or her back to the Guggenheim Museum in New York in 2006 to experience a performance by Tino Sehgal, the world-famous British-German conceptual artist. Tino Sehgal deliberately leaves no recording of his performances, no videos, no pictures. The point is still the same made by Guy Debord in the Society of Spectacles. In essence, the attempt not to reduce the complexity of social life into object fetishism. The New York Guggenheim performance started as a small child, aged 9 to 11, would hold hand of the latest visitor and ask, "What is progress?" The visitor and the child would start walking up the spiral ramps of the Frank Lloyd Wright building, and the child would listen carefully to the words of the visitor, sometimes prompting more questions. After a while, the child would hand over the visitor to the next performer, called by Sehgal the interpreter, who this time would be a teenager. The teenager would continue the conversation with bright enthusiasm, challenging the opinion of the visitor on what progress is and rapidly exploring many conflicting ideas. After the teenager, the visitor would meet an adult, and the conversation would still be focused on progress, but the adult interpreter would only be interested in one and one only interpretation of what progress is, and would just refuse to explore alternatives. Finally, the visitor would encounter an elderly person who would mix ideas about progress with a memory of dear personal events, then long gone. After the performance, visitors had very strong reactions. Most of the times they were ecstatic, thrilled, enthusiastic. A very few times, a bit unnerved. Socrates would have described the performance as an attempt to create a philosophical conversation, or, more easily applied to our day-to-day life, a dialogue. The difference between listening to a monologue or being involved in a dialogue is the fulfillment of unknown desires. Any two people starting a meaningful conversation would discover what matters about the conversation itself only after the conversation unfolds. They learn new things and they feel happy about what they have discovered. On the other hand, the fulfillment of known, rather than unknown, desires is exactly what off-the-shelf capitalism does. It assumes what people want and then force-feed it to the masses. At the end of the day, the final goal is still the same, i.e. selling products, or transactions. But it is the journey that matters, particularly when positive social and environmental impact happens to be a byproduct of the transactional journey. Now, the importance of turning shopping into a meaningful experience is not entirely unknown by the market. And in this respect, I believe the tech giant Apple offers an excellent example. In London, in the Regent Street Apple Store, people hang around even if they don't need to buy anything. They sit in the theatre, they learn new stuff about creative photo editing or video games. They know that they are surrounded by other people who share the same interest in technology, innovation and design. Apple values permeate the space. Also, interestingly similar to Tina Segal performance, the interpreters, i.e. Apple staff, mingle around in the space. They're not separated from customers by any hoarding, bench, desk or till. Apple staff walk and converse. They can answer questions, but they're also quite happy to entertain a conversation. Also, they really know their stuff. In the Apple Store, the brand is summarized in a simple, accessible, welcoming t-shirt. Plainly designed light-colored wooden tables, concrete, glass, light. The interiors are almost unassuming. What makes the experience is the interaction with expert interpreters of the brand values. Now, I think we're getting somewhere. We have experience, interaction, interpreters, and values. Specifically, interaction seems to be on the rise. This may be as a natural consequence or engineered complement to the increasingly digital experience of the market. In this respect, the evolution of the British theatre company Punch Drunk is rather interesting. The immersive theatre company started at the glorious, and now sadly closed, underground, dark and labyrinth-like club Shunt in London, as self-proclaimed new Luddite alternative to the digitization of West End shows. Punch Drunk wanted exactly the opposite of the big plasma screens, the complex video projection and ephemeral effects that seem the latest trend in mainstream theatre. They offered something completely different. A deeply emotional, rather freaky and totally immersive roleplay where actors and audience mix together. No stage, no boundaries. The idea boomed. After 15 years of unstoppable success in the field of immersive theatre, Punch Drunk is now surprisingly going digital because they realized that the merging of real and digital is unavoidable. In other words, gamification really is a thing. Punch Drunk founder Felix Barrett says it quite clearly. In his words, "What if, instead of paying a ticket and witnessing a show for 3 hours, I could pay a subscription and live in the role of the main character for 6 months?" I'd say that would be quite freaky. And quite freaky was the Shunt, and so is Punch Drunk. So the guy must be right. So digital and real are merging, and all industries are bracing up for the trip. The retail sector is no different. A major fashion label like Nike, Diesel, Adidas, or lifestyle labels like Chanel have a really seamless solution to combine experience and online life. From Apple stores to Punch Drunk immersive theatre and Tina Segal performances, society is coming to terms with the potential of international situationist constructed experiences. The question then becomes, if the contemporary experience of art turns visitors into performance artists, and the contemporary experience of theatre turns audience into actors, what should a contemporary experience of retail do? Oh well, I think we all know the answer to that. Without hesitation, we shall turn consumers into Save the Duck brand interpreters. In order for this remarkable plan to be implemented, we need a small number, I'd say 3, of carefully selected ingredients. First, we need the encounter. As a customer walks into our new store, a Save the Duck interpreter shall approach the person with broad smile, welcoming outfit, and friendly manners. The interpreter will be willing to listen and to answer, rather than hard selling the product. The interpreter will entertain a conversation with the customer, mixing together questions, jokes, facts and figures on Save the Duck unique path towards the right side of the future. The customer will feel thrilled to be part of something so exciting and futuristic. Second, we need a path. We need a path for the two people to follow while conversing. As we learned from Tina Segal's performance, the direction of the path along which the performance shall unfold can only be circular. This circular path is not only the most rational answer to a space-constrained site like a shop, but also the most ancient and successful way to focus movement and ideas together. Walking in circle, or for a better word, circumambulation, is among the oldest forms of philosophical conversation, collective prayer, and deep thinking. Hinduism, Islam, or Christianity have all developed their own ritual alternatives to the theme of walking in a circle, whether they happen around the holy black stone, the cloister courtyard, or the statue of the divinity. We have the encounter, the path. Here comes the third ingredient, the idol. The idol will mark the centre of the space, and, as suitably proportioned to the various spaces in which it shall be located, the idol should be of gigantic proportion. The idol shall be oversized and will obviously be a superhero. The idol shall attract, like an unstoppable magnet, all components of a normal store upon itself. Stands, racks, mirrors, changing rooms, back of the house accommodation, seats, mannequins, water fountains, artworks, cycle racks, sound speakers, light fittings, fridges, coffee makers, everything. Everything is sucked in by the centripetal force of the idol. The idol is a stage. The idol is a monument. The idol is a building. The idol is the sustainable city of the future. And of course, the idol warmly protects and offers the product to the customer. Am I going to cry now? The idol will pose itself as an object of wonder, a tower of sculptural magnificence. The idol is powerful, the idol is protective, friendly, superhuman. The idol is fun. The idol is a massive whistling happy duck, underneath which the product, its ducklings, sits quite happily, waiting for new friends. Like all good symbolic simulacra, the idol can be adapted in scale and composition. From a single out-of-scale giant to a cluster of smaller mini-me's, but not smaller than 1.42 meters in height, that is, the idol always occupies the center of the room and features a number of interesting elements all around its sculptural mass. The idol facilitates the conversation between customer and interpreter. It makes the conversation circular. It transforms shopping into an interactive experience. The idol is 100% recycled 3D printed plastic, and you can ride it, wearing a Save the Duck jacket, whilst the interpreter takes a picture of you. How's that? The idols will be different for each shop, and each idol will bear the name of a saved duck. The first idol will be called Agatha. When it comes down to experience of space, size matters. In the words of architecture guru Robert Venturi, architecture is either a decorated shed or it is a duck. Since the majority of retail space is about decorating sheds, it would seem obvious to us that the right space for Save the Duck is a duck. Moving from architecture to sculpture, we find a weirdly comforting reassurance in the grotesque habitable organs of Dutch studio Atelier by Lieshout, or in the emotional giants of Australian Ron Mueck. This is all getting terribly exciting, isn't it? But before we dive further into the dissertation, I shall draw a line in the sand and summarize the outcome of our intellectual tinkering thus far. 1. Save the Duck is a rather happy family. Sales figures looking good and customers are happy. Supply chain entirely ethical with getting more and more sustainable as we speak. Save the Duck is on the right side of the future. Number 2. With such a good DNA, Save the Duck can grow from the leader of a specialist segment into a global lifestyle superpower. Unsurprisingly, it has the right plan ahead to get there. Number 3. This requires R&D investment and an ever-expanding customer base. Number 4. Moving to lifestyle branding means shifting marketing emphasis from product to sales. Number 5. To understand how to do that, we looked into the work of French situationists and discovered that in order to move from product to values, we ought to shift from content to context. Constructing and creating experiences. Our intuition is supported by excellent examples in ever-growing trends in art, performance art in general, and the work of Tino Segal in particular, theatre, punch-drunk above all, and in the recent marketing of global lifestyle brands such as Nike, Adidas, Chanel, and Diesel. Number 6. The ingredients to create Save the Duck situations, therefore, are the encounter, which is the meeting between the customer and the brand interpreter, the path, which will be circular and repetitive to facilitate and rewarding conversation, and the idol, which will be an adaptable sculptural mass in the center of the space that shall incorporate and resolve all symbolic, technological and functional requirements of the shop. In the pursuit of a non-objectified collective construction of the idea of the new concept store, we actually built one. We built a 1-to-1 scale mock-up of a Save the Duck shop in the backyard of a horse riding instructor friend of mine in San Piero Grado in the outskirts of Pisa in Italy. After we built it, we recorded something rather interesting. Here's for you the recording of our first customer visit. Good morning. It's a glorious day today in Pisa. Not like London, right?
Oh, hi. Yeah, it's remarkable. I was just passing by and I saw that is a massive duck.
Agatha.
What? Agatha?
Agatha. Agatha is the name of our duck superhero. Save the Duck is all about saving animals, protecting the planet, whilst looking super stylish. And Agatha is the name of a duck from Nutley in Surrey in England who was not killed to manufacture any of the stylish down jackets you see exhibited in the store. Agatha was particularly happy when she heard that she was not going to be killed that day. Bless her.
Oh, how nice.
Please, this way. Also, Agatha in itself is entirely made of recycled plastic and 3D printed locally around here. To make this one, we picked up 3.2 tons of plastic garbage from the sea. You should have seen the fish that day. They were particularly happy about that.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, we kind of like to be different. We've always been different, and we are the tangible proof that it is possible to combine fashion, ethics, environment, and fun. Would you like a cup of tea?
Coffee, please. Black if possible, thank you. Had a bit of a wild one last night. These colours, these jackets are amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I love the colours too. We only have on show a small number of them so that you can try the style and the size, and then I can help you browsing through our online shop, which has got even more colours and styles. Then, if you like it, you can pay with your card here. And if the colour specifically you want is not in store, then the down jacket will be delivered at home and shall be waiting for you when you're back tonight.
Wow, brilliant. How do I know if I like that specific colour on me though, in reality?
Well, based on your skin colour and kind of outdoorsy outfit you have got on today, if you follow me around here, I think I've got something that might look just great on you. It's our 99% recycled collection, just around Agatha's rear. You can wear the jacket and try our ducking magic mirror. It works kind of like this. You can wear any jacket you like and then swipe on the mirror through hundreds of alternative color options. The mirror has built-in smart body recognition technology and allows you to check out how a specific color or style would look on you.
Oh my god, wow. I love that. And I think, wow, this one, maybe, no, I really like this one. How much is that? Sorry. Yeah, Daphne. Did you get it? Yeah, that was my selfie. Yeah, I was riding a massive 3D printed duck. It makes coffee. It's called Agatha. Yeah, but did you see my jacket? It's 99% recycled and red. Yeah, yeah, it's like super sustainable, 100% recycled, and it didn't kill Agatha. I mean the other Agatha. No, the real Agatha, the one that lives in Nutley. I know it doesn't make sense. I'll tell you everything tonight. Yeah, we should stay in and watch some TED Talk about ethical fashion. Yeah, we could go out. Anyway, super happy with the jacket. Brilliant, yeah. Good coffee too, and the guy was kind of cute.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our journey through the mighty adventures Save the Duck is about to undertake. Before leaving you tonight, I have a small treat. With immense pleasure, I'm about to present something completely different. It is my great honor to present to you Mr. Ed Gillespie, founder of Futerra, one of the world's leading sustainability strategy agencies. Ed has written specifically for tonight a poem. It is a poem about the passion we all share to build a better world, a world without animal cruelty, a world free from unsustainable supply chains. The poem is called It All Began with a Love of Ducks. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Gillespie.
It all began with the love of ducks. Born in the rift, we drift globally, every continent a home bar the frozen south. Many tongues wag, a Babel tower of linguistics. Tribes become peoples, peoples nations, nations a world accelerated by fire. First wood, wind and water, then coal, gas and oil, and then sunshine, powered by light, not the burning of fossilized ancestors. We thrive, 7 billion alive. But there are limits, planetary ones, against which we bump blindly, then aware that true wisdom lies in understanding. True courage comes in pioneering. True elegance is alignment with nature's grain. From fig leaves to loincloths, leather, fur and feathers, our attire flayed or plucked, but we don't duck our responsibilities. We design differently, with flair. For those who know, authentic fashion is a movement. Cruelty-free technology bringing real style, purposeful passion, powerful mission, meaningful connection. And we will remember, it all began with the love of ducks.